Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. Any board questions will be for clarification only. And our first speaker is Steve Roberts from Overland Park to talk about patriotism. Welcome, Steve.
Very much. Look forward to working with at least 9 of you in January of 2013. I wasn't sure what my remarks would be today exactly. I brought in a prop. It's, I guess I could have brought in a Bible to relate religion and patriotism. But instead of bringing in a Bible, I brought in a grocery sack from my church. It's the drive to get canned goods and so forth for the poor. The beneficiaries are the Catholic Charities Food Pantry and St. Benedict's Children's Center in Kansas City, Kansas. You know, if you want to get help to the poor, you just can't beat Catholic Charities, and I'm not here to advertise for the Archdiocese. But I think I have to say that if I were on the board today, I would have voted no in the last vote. Not because I don't like government, I'm trying to be a part of government, but because bigger government generally doesn't work, and the idea that we can have a better classroom environment for our children, especially our poor children, and we can regulate that from the federal level, is just absurd. It's absolutely patently absurd. So when I say that long-term wish list for myself would be to eliminate the free and reduced lunch program from the federal government, people usually have, well, not usually, but often have a reaction of, I must hate children, I must hate nourishment, I must somehow be against the poor people. I actually mentioned this to one of my priests when I was discerning, so to speak, of running for this office, to be a part of this board. Father Michael said, what would you like to accomplish? I said, well, one thing I'd like to do is eliminate the federal free and reduced lunch program. He said, immediately, I'd be against you. I wouldn't support you. I'd support your opponent. I said, Father, can I tell you what we'll replace it with? He said, sure. I said, lunch. You send your kids to school, they get lunch. I look at it as the way we heat the buildings in the winter. When you send your kids to school, you know that there's going to be heat in the building in the winter. Lunch should be the same way. The idea we've made a federal case out of something as simple as giving a kid a tuna sandwich and a carton of milk, and it takes 3 federal agencies to get this done? Are you kidding me? We can do so much better in Kansas. So, the reason I would have voted against the motion, if I were on this board, is because, you know, there is no fundamental conflict between science and religion. There isn't any fundamental conflict between science and religion. None. But there is a conflict between local ownership of ideas and getting people into the classroom who know what they're talking about, and the federal government trying to run the show. So I'm going to finish with this request of you. This is my last school board meeting for a while. I've taken a position. I'm going to be teaching math at a charter school in Kansas City, Missouri. It's at 56th and Troost. And those of you familiar with Kansas City, when I say 56th and Troost, you probably picture someone with dark skin. Indeed, perhaps 100% of my students will have dark skin. Many of them have been kicked to the curb in this life. And if you think I can be a better teacher because you give me more standards, you might want to rethink that position. We don't need greater standards. We don't need more file cabinets full of paper or more requirements stuck on computer hard drives. What we need is great talent in the classroom. And Lord willing, I'll help us realize that in Kansas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts.